JKB back with another episode. Today I'm reviewing Horizon Zero Dawn on the show. Thank you to Sony for sending over the review copy. Love you a long time. Let's get into the review of Zero Dawn, because this one, not that it came out of left field, but I didn't expect to be playing Legend of Zelda one week and then a game that carries that mantle of design work that has been unseen for many years on this current generation. It's just a spectacular experience that everybody has to play, and this will go down in history as the beginning of a new franchise on PlayStation that will be a must-own, at least for the foreseeable future, until they, run it into the ground after, Horizon 6, Sexual Quest. Well, that might not happen, but this is a masterpiece. So let's talk about the story of Horizon Zero without spoilers. Horizon Zero Dawn has a story that really is simple. It's about civilization, and it's no more. It's in the future where there's tribes that are all over the land that have taken old technology and really transferred it into something, it's kind of like they found it on the ground and they don't understand it. So they've taken parts of like computers and iPhones and, whatever they can find. And it's a mix-up between something like Far Cry Primal meets The Last of Us, Tomb Raider, but then meets a sci-fi great, and they all combine into something that is quite unique. You play as, listen to this. I don't want to give away anything because this story is really about mystery. It's about where did she come from? Why is she here? And you're going to go on an adventure to figure that all out. I want to talk more about the technical aspects of Zero Dawn because Guerrilla Games have made a game that is a masterpiece. So I rather talk about the graphics, which are the best graphics I might have ever seen on the PlayStation 4. I thought Uncharted 4 was good. This is unbelievable, especially because it's a massive open world that doesn't really require loading times as you go through it. Yes, there's loading times after you die, of course, just like every other game, but I mean, you're really not going to be dealing with a massive loading screen every time you go into a new section. You're going to, however, be dealing with giant, robotic animals that look like dinosaurs that are just a pleasure. I mean, an absolute pleasure to hunt down in this game, and that's where this game is going to really shine for a lot of people. The technical aspects of the game are spectacular to look at, but when you take the level of depth that they've put into the gameplay and put it on top of a game that looks this stunning, you're going to have moments where you do stop during the game and look around and you can't believe what you're looking at. Especially, I'm just playing on a regular PlayStation, the old one. And when you see graphics like this, you're blown away at that. Every time you look around, you're always blown away by the graphics. But then you realize behind that, there's sophistication in the design of these animals, these robotic animals that are walking around. They're not just simply there to be, let's pass the time. They're there to be part of the story, but also to be part of the crafting system and be part, everything goes in hand in this. Once you take down some of these dinosaur, quote unquote, sort of robots, you start to realize that they're modeled after real animals. So once you see something like a grazer, you realize that these guys they're vicious when you get up close to them. However, they're designed to simply be there to help you with your crafting. And this is where the game starts to get ridiculous, because you get further into the game and you have to craft more of your weapons as you're going along, or I should say the ammo of your weapons. The weapons are really supplied to you right off the bat. You can go out there and use the scrap metal that you're going to be collecting through this world to buy new weapons. Now, the weapons themselves have customizable features to them. So some of them have mods that you can put different mods that have been picked up off of some of the robots. So sometimes it'll be like a 6% fire damage increase, or it'll be blah, blah, blah. You get the point. You put those onto the weapons and you choose which ones go where. However, you can also upgrade and really do a ton of things in this game that the level of depth is there. That's why I'm going to say that's as far as I'm going to go in the technical aspects of the weapons and picking up things and crafting. It is insanity. Once you start to understand what this game truly is about, you're going to have so much fun simply walking around the map, not even doing anything, just shooting these dinosaurs, these robots that have their own minds. And I mean, the level of depth here is definitely here. At some point in the game, which I'm not giving away too much here, this might be a very slight spoiler, but you can essentially take over the mind of one of the smaller robots and ride it around like a horse. At that point in time, I was like, oh my goodness, like, there's parts in this game that I haven't seen in other games, period. There's parts of this games that are like, just like if you took that out of this game, that would be the whole other game out there. It's just insanity. So I think you get the sense of what's going on in Horizon Zero Dawn in terms of the gameplay. It is absolutely a must play for the PlayStation 4. Let's move on. Well, you know, I talked about the graphics, so let's move on to the pros and cons before I end this review. In terms of the cons, there really isn't something that's going to stand out. I mean, it is a bit clunky at times. I've found myself getting stuck on the robots' corpses. I've got stuck on just random rocks on the ground or a stupid tree stump or something silly during battle, and I have to admit that was quite annoying at times, especially when I'm trying to evade an attacking robot and I get stuck on a fucking log. Thanks so much, log. I don't like you. Other than that, this is like, I mean, yeah, there's so much depth to it that at times it's very hard to really show you all of that information at once. So I'd say the UI is kind of a little bit annoying, just like it was in Breath of the Wild. There's so much going on and there's so much information and so many mods and so many this and that, and it's so overwhelming that you just kind of wish that the system layout for the UI was a little bit more slick. You know, when I'm going through my weapons and I'm trying to figure out what mods are on what and all this stuff, it's a little confusing. But I mean, you do get the hang of it after about 2 hours. You're like, okay, I get it. So this is my skill tree, which now I'll go into the positives. The skill tree is super important. This is a positive for one strange reason, that once you unlock some of those skills, the combat slowly goes from simple, melee attacks and shooting people in the face to like unbelievable strategy involving the environment, involving your weapons and your tools. Some of the tools and weapons in here are amazing, just unbelievable. And I don't want to give those away, but wow, when you combine that with the actual environment and there's another thing. Here's another positive. The level of gameplay starts at its roots. It's simple. You want to kill your enemy, and you're going to do that with your tools. One tool that she has is a device that's in her ear called Focus. This allows you to look around your environment to a certain degree and see what's around you. And you can actually study the robots and see in real time where they're going to be, where the most effective shots are going to be on them. So some of them might be really weak on the lens. Some might have a heart that's not really going to keep ticking if you're gonna fucking shoot arrows at it. I mean, it's just insanity. This game is insanity. So you want to use your focus to understand the animals. When you're using your focus, you can also see a track that's on the ground, because they're programmed robots, so they talk to each other and they go, no, you go this way, you go this way. Essentially, that's what they're doing, and you get to see that with your focus ability, and you'll see them walking around their track, and you can outline that track and keep it up live, so you know when they're going to come swing around. What I didn't expect, and this is another positive, I did not expect this much stealth in a game like this. You might want to run into a situation and just try to murder all of these dinosaur robots. I highly suggest to use your stealth abilities with the focus. That's super important to say. I mean, pros is the whole game. I can keep going about how good this game is. Okay, pros, graphics are spectacular. Music is amazing. Voice acting is amazing. Motion capture is amazing. Facial animations is amazing. Facial design is unbelievable. The eyes in this game, you see the souls of these characters. I mean, it's insanity what they got out of that. The overall world is so detailed. At times at the beginning, yeah, it feels a little linear, but I mean, a little linear nowadays is a big, not, you know, if you know what I'm saying, is like, yeah, you got to go from point A to point B, but along the way, at the beginning of the game, there are side missions that kind of start to get you going into the open world. But once that really opens up, holy smokes, there's a lot to do in this game. So I'm going to give Horizon Zero Dawn, The Covenant, 9.5 out of 10. I mean, I'm having so much fun with this game on my PlayStation 4. It's just going to keep people engaged for 80 hours minimum if you want to start to even go with the side quests or anything else in the game. It is truly an epic masterpiece that cannot be missed for the PlayStation 4. I don't care who you are. You play this game and you'll understand this is what AAA video game design tries to really reach in terms of their goals. If they get to a level like this when you release a game, then you've done something that not many studios have ever done, and that is create an epic masterpiece that will go down in history as one of the best first-party PlayStation 4 games ever released. Thank you so much for watching this. I've released so many videos over the last little bit. If you can go back and check those out, because YouTube, as usual, is broken. Thank you, YouTube. That would mean a lot to me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of JKB.